welcome back to Open Your Eyes. You know, I nearly said KTV. Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, our second segment in Belize Birding Festival. That's what we'll be talking about. We know that it's it's actually about a month out, but nonetheless, we've got the folks in to tell us all about it. We've got Talia Tillett, who is a membership officer at BTIA. We've got Alina Saldivar, and please raise on a hand because I don't know.
Alina's on here,
okay,
yeah.
so there we go. Alina Saldivar, Board of Director, Belize Hotel Association, and Carolee Chanona, Membership Service Manager. I could pick you out. Guys, welcome. It's so nice to have you in.
Thank you for having us.
Birding. Yes. One of the questions I asked when you arrived was, what did the name of blackbird? Now the reason why I'm asking is because we see them around and we don't know what the name is, and I think by knowing the name, you appreciate them more.
Yes.
You know, so let's talk about this festival coming up. How big is it, and when did it get started?
Well, this is the second annual birding festival that we're hosting this year. The first was held last October as well.
Okay.
So BHA, BTIA, and BAS has partnered to bring us, you know, this event where we can have stakeholders of tourism come in, birding enthusiasts, bird guides, and of course international guests, which is what we're trying to market towards this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Now, let's talk about the birding industry, though, because, you know, it's always been one of the appeals for Belize. It's just one we didn't talk about that much. Talking from the tourism perspective, how important is it as a part of the clientele that you attract?
Very much so, and growing. I think there's a report saying that there was
Go ahead.
over 30,000 visitors that said that they were here specifically for birding in 2018.
Wow.
So this festival is definitely something that I think all tourism stakeholders will find very valuable.
Yeah.
Because the overall objective is to continue making Belize one of the top birding destinations.
Yeah.
So we encourage the stakeholders. There will be lots of sponsorship opportunities that will allow them to market their birding services. If you go to the website, which is BelizeBirdingFestival.com.
.bz.
I'm sorry, .bz.
Sorry.
And so they'll be able to see all of the sponsorship opportunities. I'm sure that lots of hotels are getting birding inquiries throughout the country.
Yeah.
So this is a time for them to learn, to interact with international birders, and so definitely a valuable event for tourism stakeholders.
With already a sizable portion of the tourists coming in to bird, it seems that, and then moving towards the direction of a birding festival, it seems that there perhaps is a larger market that we can tap into. Is that what we're recognizing?
Definitely.
Definitely. The idea of the birding festival is to attract both local and international birders.
Yeah.
However, the festival is only 2 days.
Yeah.
And most birders come to the country for longer periods.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage stakeholders to put packages together. It can either be within the Cayo area, northern Belize, southern Belize, so that the international birders can take advantage of that as well. So they can attend both the festival, and after or prior to the festival, they can engage in those birding activities. They can, after the festival, they can go to Orange Rock, do some birding tours there, or they can go to Toledo and do some birding tours there as well. So that's the idea, to expand on the market and have the stakeholders participate as well, and give them the opportunity to showcase their businesses as well.
You know, one of the things that I'm trying to wrap my mind around what happens, what takes place at a birding festival. Are we in a forest setting whereby we'll be seeing a number of species of birds? What happens there?
Well, this year it's a 2-day event. It will be held on October 19th and the 20th at the San Ignacio Hotel Resort. It's 2 full days of activities. We begin on Saturday early in the morning with a bird walk, the urban bird walk, which is organized by the Belize Audubon Society. We begin at 6 a.m. Birders are early people, so
Early birds.
yes, yes. So we begin at 6 a.m. and then we finish at 9:30. We all gather at the San Ignacio Hotel Resort, where we officially open the bird festival, and there we we follow with the booth exhibitions. We're hoping to have approximately 42 different booth displays, which entails hoteliers, tour operators, offering discounts, packages. And then we also have a presentation area where we will have our main keynote guest speaker, Dr. John Fitzpatrick. He's from eBird. And in the afternoon, we have a panel discussion. And here we will have different stakeholders, guest speakers talking about eBird and how that can help to Belize to tap into the birding industry. And right after that, we also have a cocktail. And
Yes.
that day is a special day, which is the big day.
Yes, before we jump into Global Big Day, I wanted to correct you. I know you said we see birds in forest settings, but we actually see birds all around us, and hopefully, you know, we lead one of the activities being an urban bird watch, and that would be surprising to you all. We can see birds in our urban settings, you know, so birds are all around us, and we want more people to get involved in birding as well.
Totally right.
So I mentioned the Urban Bird Walk, which is a activity that's held in an urban setting. It's actually one of the Basque-coined events that we started about 10 years ago. Really, it's just to invite community stakeholders, community members to just participate. It's the public. You could be a beginner birder, you could know nothing about birding, no equipment. We provide all of that. And that's just to encourage you to, you know, notice the birds around you in your environment. We host one in every major municipality. October is actually the start of migration season in Belize. So Belize is a birding destination. We have almost 600 species of birds, and that's both migratory and resident birds. So about half of that is in Belize at any given moment. October to about May is really the peak of migration season. So we'll have about 300 of those 600 come in and pass through, which is when we see the spike in birding as well. So most of the birding activities in Belize are focused starting October into May. One of those being the Urban Bird Walk, which is a BAS event. And that's incorporating citizen science. So that, again, is just inviting citizens to come and participate in birding. We have another event that we participate in. It's not a BAS event, it's actually a global event. And that is held by the Cornell Cornell Lab of Ornithology. And that's a global event that invites global birders to participate by going out on one calendar day to go birding and try to record as many sightings as they see in that one day.
And that's the eBird platform,
And
right?
that's the eBird platform. And that's actually the first day of the festival.
Yeah.
So our keynote speaker, interestingly enough, he's from Cornell, which was a founder of eBird. And that's basically an online database to record your sightings.
What's the attraction for Belize as a birding destination? I mean, 300 species of birds is one thing, but usually people go for unique birds, I'd imagine.
So we want to market Belize because we are a neotropical birding destination.
And
so
what does that mean?
we have tropical birds.
Okay.
So our beautiful, you know, keelbill toucan, you'll notice in our festival logo, we'll have some, the lovely cotinga, crimson colored tanager. Those are just beautiful birds. So we do have beautiful birds in Belize. For example, you know, bass is synonymous with the red-footed booby bird of Half Moon Cay Natural Monument. That bird is only found on Half Moon Cay in the Western Hemisphere. So, you know, that's one birding destination that people can visit while in Belize and kind of tick off on their life list that, yes, I saw a red-footed booby bird in Belize. So we want to kind of tap into some of those benefits and that niche market in Belize as well.
So when it comes to us being a birding destination, we're in a tight competition, right? In terms of Central America, how big are we in Central America?
It's funny that you bring up Central America, actually, because one of the speakers that we're inviting for the festival is Mr. Serge Arias. So he is the CEO and founder of a company called Birdwatching Central America. So he uses his platform to market multi-destinations in Central America. So he actually features Belize within one of those packages. So he will give some perspective on how to tap into the Central American market. as well as the international market, so that we can promote ourselves competitively against our fellow Central American countries as well.
What's the demographic of a birder, typically?
You would be surprised.
Yeah.
I consider myself a birder, and before in the past you would say, you know, retired older persons would be birders, but we're trying to encourage everyone to get into birding, and you'll notice some of those same citizen science events that Belize Audubon Society hosts. It's people of all ages, all backgrounds, you know. We have kids coming, we have retirees coming, students, so you would be surprised.
But what we do know about the birders is they're very patient, which means long stays in the country.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That makes it even more appealing to grow as a birding destination. Yeah, tell me more.
No, definitely, because I mean that's just one perspective that where you can see that Belize can definitely benefit from birding activities. The entire tourism industry, because everything has to come together to host these people. So definitely a big part of tourism.
And have you seen the response in getting hotels and tour packages for the festival itself?
Well, that's why we're here.
We have a few of the stakeholders who are offering birding packages who have registered, and we're encouraging BTA members, BAS members, or BHA members to register. The registration fee is $300 for the 2 days. It gives you access to a 10 by 10 booth and to all access pass. And if you're a non-member, there's an additional cost, and you can register online. And if you have different bird packages, we are encouraging members as well to share those packages with us. We will promote those packages via our social media pages and website as well. So there are different benefits for different stakeholders to promote their packages.
And if I'm a destination, or I have a hotel that I've never, put together something for birders, how do you know how to start?
Well, this is the perfect platform to get involved. This is a great introductory, point to become immersed in the birding market. This is really a niche tourism market, and birding is one of the sustainable tools that we can use for tourism. I know Belize is on this platform of ecotourism, and this is the perfect way to get involved in that by being immersed into birding presentations, activities, networking with other stakeholders, even introducing yourself to local tour guides and tour operators to try and put together that package, and of course you'll meet new friends along the way.
I think for a lot of the local hotels, it came to mind because you did mention when I said forest, bird not in a bush.
Yes.
You actually have urban birds.
Yes.
So I think this is definitely a platform for local hotels to actually advertise. These are some of the things that you could see, some of the birds that you could see. Now, which brings me to ask, how big is the local birding community in the country? And let's talk about some of the birds that we commonly see. We don't know the name, and let's try to get into that.
Yes, it's actually much bigger than you would probably assume. Last year, for the first annual in Belmopan, we had over 230 participants.
Wow.
And really, this is the first of its kind in Belize. We weren't really sure how the community would respond. And of course, that's just a one-day festival. A lot of people couldn't make it that day. So we're aiming this year to double our numbers, aiming for 400 to 500 participants.
Cool.
So you would be surprised. There's a huge birding community in Belize today, and it's growing. It's growing.
And the commonly seen birds around, we see blackbird. We call them blackbird. You see them? That's not a blackbird, baby.
Yes.
But what's the real name for that? What's the name?
So actually, in Belize City, for example, we have more than one blackbird. We have the great-tailed grackle, which is a large bird, black bird. Has a very long tail, which is one of the field markers. And the second blackbird is actually a melodious blackbird. It's a smaller bird, has a shorter tail, and it actually has a sweeter
Yeah,
song.
that's
So
the
that's
one
the
that wakes
melodious
me up
part
in the
of it.
morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So that's one of the.
You'll
that's-
hear both of them in the morning.
So that's one of those that we see, like in the Belama area, which I live in that area.
Yes.
There's so many birds that can be seen.
Yes.
Hummingbirds. Tell us about some of those. some of the
Belama
names.
is actually a great little spot to go birding. There's a lot of water birds there.
Yeah.
Another example of urban birding spots would be what they typically call hangar. So by the municipal airport, a lot of water birds and wading birds are there. Actually, 2 days ago, funny enough, a very rare bird popped up right at hangar in the Sargassum, a snowy plover. That's the 4th recording in the country. And we know this because of eBird, which is one of the online platforms that
So
is
you,
used
you
to
log
record.
on to it and say, I saw this.
Yes, so eBird is one of the platforms that birders have been using in Belize.
Yeah.
That's a database to record your sightings, and that's also real-time data for scientists, birders to access and see the distribution of birds and more. And actually, that is actually one of the marketing tools that a lot of birders have tapped into for tourism. So, for example, local tour guides will use eBird to market themselves. If they're out birding every day, avid birders from international communities, they'll
see the
look into
activity.
Belize's eBird and see some of the hot spots where you can see this specific species of bird, or where you can see over 200 birds in one day, or maybe one of the top eBirders online, they'll want to say, hey, can you take me out for a tour? So it's both conservation science and also you can use it as a marketing tool for tourism.
It's also new knowledge, though. How do you cope in getting your tour operators up to mark and being able to facilitate bird tours? Because you may see a beautiful bird, but how many of us actually know
Yes.
any specifications of their behavior or what they are?
Yes. Well, I don't want to get too much into the marketing point because it's not my full forte, but I will say that, for example, Belize Audubon Society did a 3-year project along with the BTV, and that was to host a bird tourism project. So it's using birding as a conservation tool, and that under that project we held trainings, so advanced bird guide training and a beginner bird guide training, and so it's along with those tools and the citizen science events that we host to the public that will help to build your capacity as a birder.
Yeah.
Wow.
And from the tourism sector?
Well, the event actually is one of the areas where we want to focus, especially on the second day, because we will be hosting a workshop in the afternoon.
Awesome.
And there is where we will have one of the guest speakers talking about how to build those packages, and as Caroline mentioned, how to build the multi-destination packages, because as we had mentioned before, we are within a competitive. If we have the packages, or if we don't, we can always join with other countries and other stakeholders to market ourselves, which will expand our reach into the birding industry.
Yeah. And clearly Central America is a great partner because that's how most people travel anyway, through Central America.
Yes.
So we just want them to stop here for birding as well.
Yes, so Belize is a great destination, and we can market ourselves as a birding destination, one, because of the species mentioned, but we're English speaking, we're conveniently placed, so we have direct flights to the US and Central America, so there's benefits to having Belize as your final destination for birding.
Yeah.
That is true.
Now talk about this partnership. Is BTB on board too?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, BTB is one of our main sponsors,
great.
and also they assist in the marketing of the event.
Excellent.
They travel to different trade shows and road shows internationally, so they're taking some of our materials. They're doing presentations as well at different shows. So they're one of our main sponsors.
Yeah.
We also have different other sponsors that are assisting with the marketing of the event. The Cornell Lab, they're also one of our main sponsors. They are promoting the event on their different online platforms, putting banners as well. So they are one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
And
National Audubon.
National Audubon as well, they're one of our sponsors. They also promote the event. We have local sponsors. PACT is one of our local sponsors.
Excellent.
We
Okay.
have the San Pedro Sun, which is assisting us in putting their word out there as well. We have the San Ignacio Resort. We also have Travelers, Bowen and Bowen. Those are other stakeholders who are assisting
Yeah.
to organize, well, to put together the event.
Yeah. No, I asked that question because clearly, you know, as NGOs, you'll know that one of the threats that we have, especially to birding, would be deforestation. And we were talking last week of displaced wildlife based on development that has to take place.
Yes.
So there has to be a right direction. If we're moving towards pushing birding, we have to ensure we're protecting it as
Protecting
Yes.
well.
birds and their natural
Yeah.
habitats.
Yes, and that's really where Belize Audubon Society wanted to come on board, because we are protected area managers,
Yeah.
and of course birding as a sustainable tool for livelihoods.
Yeah.
You know, usually it's the stakeholders of the buffering communities to these protected areas that utilize the protected areas for their livelihood. So, for example, birding is a non-impactful activity. It's an outdoor recreational activity. You know, you go into the protected area, you pay your entrance fee, which of course helps us support the management of the park.
Yeah.
You go in, you see a bird, you admire it, and you leave. You know, so it's non-impactful, and of course that in turn supports conservation in Belize as well,
Definitely.
and of course benefits the tour guide.
And for overnighters especially, this is an opportunity for some of your members to diversify their packages as well.
Yes.
Exactly, and so that's why we were reiterating that even if you're not offering, you know, you might be a property right now that says, well, I don't have any kind of birding services on
Yeah.
my website or on my property, but that's okay. That's why this is perfect. I mean, just the wealth of information from these guest speakers would be an excellent beginning.
Yeah.
To, you know, the 2020 season is coming up very rapidly, so that alone would be a wealth of information to gain by participating in the festival.
And
because
you're
it's
right.
a
You're
good way to
totally right.
start. Yeah.
It's diverse what we've got in our country, and but it is a month out. So when again is this?
October 19th and 20th at the San Ignacio Resort. And if you don't want to participate as an exhibitor, you can participate as an attendee.
Attendee, yeah.
So we have different options. If you want to do the full weekend pass, it's $100.
Okay.
And if you just want to do either the Saturday or the Sunday, that's $60. Or if you just want to walk the exhibition floor, that's $10. But we are encouraging everyone to register online. We're expecting a large amount of people to register.
You
So
get 200 birders just in Belize, yeah.
so in order for us to cater for all the registered participants,
Yeah.
we need to ensure that everyone pre-register online. Our official website is belizebirdingfestival.bz.
Now I know that naturally, as John spoke earlier, we think of birds and we think of forested areas, which means maybe there'll be more of an attraction by members who are in inland destinations. Is this also a viable option for those who are beach properties or along the coastal areas?
Yes.
Definitely, because
Definitely. You can go ahead.
the same way, you know, people that go to San Pedro or Kikaker are interested in visiting the Mayan ruins. They do day trips, so the birding
Yeah.
would be no different. Yeah.
And it's a great way to divert them if there's a lot of sargassum that day.
That's true.
And actually, one of our presenters is Dr. Lee Jones, the author of Birds of Belize, and his presentation will be on the identification of birds. So we do have properties on the coast who do birding tours on site as well.
Wow.
Yes.
So like in Placencia, and San Pedro as well, we have a few hotels that do offer birding tours on
Definitely.
site.
All right, and how are we doing in booths? Is this sign up as soon as possible?
Yes, we have a few booths available, so we are encouraging everyone to visit our website and register online as well, or you can just visit either the BTI office or the Belize Audubon office. to
We're on the same
register.
street. We're actually neighbors. So you can visit either of us.
Wherever
We'd
the
be happy.
parking is closest.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right, and the website once again?
BelizeBirdingFestival.bz.
Okay, so of course, different properties, tour operators, they can sign up for a booth, and if you don't want a booth, you can also attend or at the very least, just walk the festival floor.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
And that takes place October 19th and 20th
Yes.
at
San
the San
Ignacio.
Ignacio Hotel. Ladies, thank you for coming in
Thank you.
and telling
Thank
us
you.
all about this event, and best of luck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, and John, now you know your blackbirds.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Now we know the blackbird.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back in a few. Please stay tuned.